Hello everyone, this is Josh, and the thing about Nicole Arbor, she thinks she's really funny, she thinks she's a stand-up comedian, she thinks she's a satire. We all know what satire and comedy is, and like I said in my Dear Cyberbullies video, most stand-up comedians joke about their personal life. Like, oh, my wife, or my kids, or whatever. Whatever they joke about. And we all laugh at that. But when you start fat shaming people because you think that's cool and funny, well, you're not funny or cool. Like, oh yeah, people say everyone needs to get a sense of humor. How would you like it if somebody all of a sudden just made fun of you for having disabilities or problems? Let's say making fun of deaf people or people with cancer or any other health problem. And see, I wrote a comment to her. Well, actually, I couldn't write a comment because she disabled it. If you're a comedian, most comedians want to hear their fans tell them what was funny and what wasn't funny so they can go back and rewrite themselves and realize that what's not funny is fat shaming. And you compare yourself to Keisha, who, by the way, is a classy lady and wouldn't fat shame her fans. Because, for one, her fans go to her live shows to listen to her sing. I don't think she would do that, because if she did, then a lot of fans would turn their backs on her. Duh. And I wrote her, and I said, "Dear Nicole," I don't actually have what I wrote, but I basically didn't put any hate towards it or anger. I just simply said, "You're a YouTube star. Act like one. Inspire people. You want to make people laugh. You don't attack them by fat shaming them, because if they're fat, if I notice a lot of people on YouTube who don't even have a picture of themselves. Why is that? Are they afraid that people are going to make fun of the way they look? Probably. And it's not right. And I was shocked when I saw how many views her Dear Fat People got. Excuse me. 6 million? Are you kidding me? I'm guessing the 6 million who watched that video were probably going like this: why did I watch that? That was really not funny at all. If you want to see somebody really funny, I suggest you look at George Carlin. He was funny. He was a genius. And rest in peace, George Carlin. He would have called you all kinds of names if he was still around. And he'd be mostly honest about it. Thing about it is, most of the time, cyberbullies are just like us, insecure. They want to be liked. They think they're funny, so they're just gonna target just about anybody. And the thing is, if you really want to be a stand-up comedian, then you need to get on stage somewhere and do it. And when people are booing you, and I guarantee you, they will boo you right off the stage because they don't think you're funny. Thing about comedians, they don't target anybody. They make fun of themselves. Like, I went to a friend's house, or my friend's like, "Hey, see my new truck?" Yeah, wow, impressive. Wish I had a truck like that. But no, you take personal experiences and you make jokes about it, but you don't really tell anybody, or basically you don't turn it into fat shaming. Satire. Now, satire is comedy, but basically you make fun of one person. Basically, let's say, okay, like the President of the United States. You see a goofy-looking cartoon. That's satire. At least most presidents have a sense of humor. Other presidents may not have a sense of humor. And, to say, oh, to bring in the race card. Let me tell you something. Um, the only thing about, I don't know. Who cares? Um, People that are on disability have a reason to have a card because they're disabled. People who just pull out this race card, like, feel sorry for me. I'm a minority. No, you're not. You're not a minority. Don't, you only feel bad for somebody when they have a problem. And the problem is you're not funny. So I hope your friends tell you how unfunny you are, or at least give you their honest opinion, unless they just are too scared to give you an honest opinion on anything. Because let me tell you something. If there's one thing you should learn, being a stand-up comedy or comedian, it's just like if you go to a Dane Cook show and someone's offended, and they tell him, Dane Cook, you offended me. You know what he would say? Don't come to my show if I offend you. That's just the way it is. But see, the thing is, at least they tell you beforehand, this might offend most people. But see, the reason why people weren't just offended by what you were saying. They were like, you call that comedy? You think you're really funny? You think fat shaming is funny? And we should fat shame people, and we should shame people who smoke or do drugs? Oh yeah, meth heads? Yeah, if they put hashtag meth, duh, they love it. It's like anybody else would say on here. I think you need to rethink what you're going to think about, rethink what you're going to do, and try to be funny. If you're not funny, then stop trying to be a comedian because you're not working. And, yeah, so if you go on stage and get booed, it's nobody's fault but yourself because you bombed.